Hello, everyone. I'm here with Cindy Childress, who has some exciting things coming on the horizon. So I'm so excited to have you here with me today, Cindy. Mind telling us a little bit about you and your business?
Yes, I am Dr. Cindy, the expert's ghostwriter, and I help trailblazers and leaders write books that make money and an impact. I do that with a variety of services, so ghostwriting and book editing, and then also some group learning information products. I have a 6 week story writing course and also Crank Out Your Book in 8 weeks, my signature program that teaches you how to be your own ghostwriter.
Wow, Cindy. So you're not necessarily the typical copywriter that most people think of. How long have you been a part of CopyChief, and how do you use CopyChief to help your dreams come true and help build your business?
Absolutely. So I was very fortunate to find CopyChief in 2018, actually. Laura Belgray was speaking there, and she sent an email that was titled, "Want to hang out with me in Florida?" And I was like, yeah. And so that landed me into this world. So when I got there, I didn't even know that CopyChief was a group. I thought it was just the name of the event.
Mm.
And so I had to get completely educated. But I met Kevin and I had signed up for the freelancer day on the third day of the event. And all throughout the event, I was feeling pretty good about my niche as a ghostwriter because I was kind of a unicorn in a sea of different kinds of copywriters. And when I got to that freelancer day, we did a worksheet to figure out your bat symbol. And when I went through the exercise, I realized that actually I was all over the place. It was just that my all over the place looked different than a lot of other people at the event. I was trying to write several different kinds of books for several different kinds of avatars. I had no idea um, how to melt that down into one thing. And Kevin came up beside me and looked at my worksheet. We had a great talk. And basically, after that, I was hooked. And so, the thing about my business, which is writing full length books, is most of the problems I have about how to get clients, how to serve clients well, and keep my business organized, all those things look very similar to a copywriter's business. So, um, I mean, really, all the trainings and information in here are as beneficial to me as somebody with a copywriting business.
That's so incredible to hear, and especially to hear from someone who has it very intentionally leveraged this information to do something different from copywriting. That's incredible. By the way, I love following your Instagram. And for those of you who don't follow Cindy on Instagram yet, please go because it is an incredible thing. She's a ray of sunshine on the platform, and love your content, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I have to say, the whole idea of building my brand and putting out authority content on a regular basis is also something that I didn't start until I did the Real Free Loft program in CopyChief.
Wow, that's incredible. And really good to hear that building your brand is something that not a lot of people think of being super important. It's just, oh, social media is this place where I might share pictures of my cat. But it's this beautiful, wonderful world where you can actually reach a lot more people than you realize. So I love watching you using that, and can't wait to see you keep growing that.
Thank you. And by the way, I do post lots of cat pictures, but the thing is, those are also opportunities to show off your writing skills with a smart caption.
Good point. Good point. So, the one thing that every business faced in the last while was the global pandemic that hit us all. That's something that universally everyone has faced. And it's crazy how one event can impact so many businesses. So, I'm curious, what was the number one obstacle you faced during the global pandemic, and how did you overcome it?
Yes. So I had a ghostwriting client that was Australian. We had just started her project. And after the first payment and the first bit of work, she wanted to cancel her agreement. The Australian dollar had fallen significantly compared to the dollar. And it just, I wasn't willing to lower my price just because of that. And I understood it didn't make sense for her to pay what it would have been in Aussie dollars to pay my fees. That was okay. But that also left me, well, where's my next the next month's revenue going to come from? And that's when my courses were born. It was an idea I'd had for a long time. And suddenly I just got into gear. And that next month, I made up that revenue that should have been from the next payment on that ghostwriting package by offering the first round of Crank Out Your Book in 8 weeks. So I really pivoted because before, a lot of my networking and finding my one-to-one services customers have been from networking and referrals from meeting in person. And then when I moved to my online offering of teaching a course online, I also, the three people in that course, one was a referral and the other two were people I'd met online from strategically networking in paid Facebook groups. So I just got creative and got busy.
That's incredible. And I think that a lot of people have learned very quickly how to shift. That's one thing that the pandemic helped us all learn very quickly was, hey, you got to be, pretty flexible in your business, both personally and with the broader perspective in mind. So it's really cool to hear your story of how you did that. What are the biggest shifts that you've seen in the ghostwriting world in the last couple years? Are there any little things that you can see other writers that you would say, look, this is a perfect time to take advantage of this? What's the biggest thing that's, right there on the horizon for writers today?
Yeah, well, I don't think there's ever been a better time to self publish a book. So, if you are someone who has been thinking about writing a book yourself as an authority building, flagship piece of content for yourself, the platforms for self publishing and publish on demand, where it actually costs you very little money to set this up. And our fellow chief, Chris Orzechowski, is one of the many people that I've seen do that. It's just, and especially as a copywriter, you already have a lot of those skills that other people would struggle with, like writing the back jacket copy and creating your Facebook and Amazon ads and all those other creative kind of copy things that go into making a book successful. And the other thing I would say is, because the self publishing market is so easy to enter and can be so beneficial to anybody to build their authority, it's a great space for you to show up in as a leader yourself if you've ever wanted to pivot to books. Because traditionally, you might think of a ghostwriter as someone that's employed at a publishing company like Random House or Penguin, and then you're assigned to a client to ghostwrite like Donald Trump's book or, whatever. And so what's happening now though with the self-publishing trends is more and more people they have a message to share, they're comfortable to make an investment to see it be successful. Some of them, I've got a person in my funnel right now. She could totally have a book deal if she wanted one. She's had one before. She didn't enjoy that experience. She is a CEO of a nine-figure business and she likes to have creative control of her projects. So for that reason, she's looking to self-publish her next book. So don't overlook the opportunities for people that are wanting to work outside the traditional publishing mechanism, and don't be afraid, because it's not even really less credible these days. Almost nobody except the little English major snobs even know the difference between a self-published book and a traditionally published one. So I would embrace it and help people be successful in that space.
Gotta love the information age, right? Where everything's available. It's never been easier to create something on your own and put it out into the world for other people to see. And I love the shifts that are happening because of that. So, Cindy, you've obviously created a very specific niche of a business, and you have used the CopyChief network to be able to grow that business as well. And I love that. What would you say to a copywriter or another creative writer who looks at you and says, wow, you're so successful. How can I be like you? What's one piece of advice you'd give them?
Authority content. That is the one piece of advice I would give them. In order to stand out and be known and have a calling card that doesn't require you to be there present, always selling yourself over and over on your 15-minute sales calls, create your authority content. I've done it on Instagram by posting every day for more than a year and doing weekly videos. And I mean, I've got people who are much more successful and well known actually messaging me and friend requesting me and saying, wow, I can't believe I hadn't met you before. And it's just from how I'm showing up online. So I would say choose your platform where you think your best clients are going to be. For me, it's, a lot of thought leaders and coaches. So Instagram is a great space. But figure out where your people are and then just start showing up there and be a leader. You got to have that beacon on so they can find you.
That's incredible advice. And the cool thing is that you don't have to have a huge audience to be able to start doing this. This isn't something you have to wait on. Anyone can sign up for a free Instagram or Facebook account and start doing this. So I love this piece of advice. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And use your copy chops. One thing that can happen is we're not our own best customers. So when you start building your authority content, don't have that be the last thing you do when you can get to it, if you can get to it when you're tired. I do that first thing when I'm freshest and best, because if I don't show up for my business, I can't expect anybody else to.
Well, that's a great note to end on. Thank you so much for joining me, Cindy.
Been a pleasure.